Welcome to CommTrack, where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. I'm your host, Tim Leifheit, and my co-hosts,
Hannah and Martha.
And we are here to talk about movie stuff, aren't we?
We're talking. What else is there to talk about?
Well, there's quite a bit in the world, but we like to talk about movies. So, yeah.
Fun thing to talk about.
Yes, indeed. One of the many fun things to talk about. Our movie, we're starting out our little podcast project here with probably some of our favorite and most beloved movies, the Cornetto Trilogy.
I like it because it's the only movie like me and film majors can both like bond on. I watch a lot of trash. You know, outside of the stuff you show me, it's mostly cooking shows, anime about cooking shows. Like, I'm glad that you're here. But I love the Cornetto Trilogy because not only is it great filmmaking, it's fun and rewatchable, and it's one of the great, sets of films that you can just watch at a party with beer in your hand.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Like, the rewatchability is, like, insane. Because every time I go back to watch any one of these movies, I'm constantly picking up on tiny little details that I never noticed before. And to me, that's like a great sense of writing. Because the writing on the movies are so tight. Because you actually said, Hannah, about something like, every piece of dialogue is either, a joke?
A joke, or it moves the plot forward, or it's got character development, and a lot of times it's got two out of those three things.
Yeah, the whole storyline is very rhythmic in itself, and I've seen that with some of the other movies of the Cornetto Trilogy. It's like, it keeps you engaged, it's entertaining, it's not just like, still camera.
No.
Which is really rare in a comedy, I think, is a lot of people have the dialogue, and they've got the jokes, but there's a lot of filler, where I think this has got a lot of heart and cleverness to it, like all three movies.
Well,
and of course, zombies.
Yes.
And of course, zombies.
Zombies and robots and crazy cult people, I think. Whatever that was in Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
and spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen these movies yet, do yourself a favor, go watch them, and then come back here and watch it with us, because we make it 10 times more fun.
Including The World's End, because even though the trailer makes it look like hot shit, it's actually my favorite one.
Oh yeah, dude, World's End is, like, actually, I always tell people, Hot Fuzz is the best, World's End is my favorite, though.
World's End is the funniest, and Shaun of the Dead is the most iconic.
Yes.
Hot Fuzz is my favorite out of all three. Are you guys judging me for that one?
No, dude.
Hot Fuzz is, I think, the best overall. Shaun of the Dead is, like, I feel like the most well-known. Like, people see references from it more often. But World's End, I think, is the funniest.
Yeah, I can take that, because...
definitely. Gary King!
Gary King!
Because, I mean,
Maybe because I've never seen it sober, though, is why.
But yes, more specifically, is there any, like, thoughts about Shaun of the Dead? Because I actually remember seeing Shaun of the Dead on cable, like, a couple of years it came out. And, because at first when I heard about it, like, I looked at it, I'm like, this is stupid. Like, come on. Like, because first off, like, I wasn't that big. I mean, now I'm big into horror, but back in, like, early high school or, like, late middle school, I really wasn't into horror at all. I was, like, a total puss out and thought like they were too scary or whatnot. But I attribute that mostly to my mother. So, Mom, if you're listening, I blame you for that. But after that, I saw Shaun of the Dead, and I thought, no, that's a dumb title. Like, it looks goofy. I don't think I can.
Kind of the point?
Well, yeah, but I was young and stupid and pretentious. Like, I was thinking, like, yeah, Shaun of the that's stupid.
So you were 18.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I was much.
I only watch Citizen Kane.
I didn't.
Apocalypse Now.
No,
and The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight for sure. Oh my God! Like, I was so up my head up my ass with that.
I only watch V for Vendetta. The world doesn't understand.
Although I didn't see Citizen Kane until I was well into college, but that's besides the point.
What was everyone's first Cornetto Trilogy movie?
Shaun of the Dead was mine, actually, because I first heard about that, and because I hadn't even heard of Hot Fuzz when it came out, or World's End at all. Like, as a matter of fact, I think it might have been Nostalgia Critic who actually pointed out to me that there was, like, a legit trilogy out there. Or no, it wasn't Nostalgia Critic. It was this wonderful video essay series, Every Frame of Painting.
Oh, I love them.
I love Tony Zhu's Every Frame of Painting, and when I saw the Edgar Wright one, I'm like, oh shit, there's a whole trilogy? I should watch it.
Check out that video. That's
Yes,
really
World's End was definitely my initiation. You got it at the library, and we binge watched it in your basement.
Oh, yeah. Did I make you drink to it? Because I usually make people drink.
I don't think we were old enough to drink at that time.
No, when World's End came out, I was old enough to drink.
That was 2013, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, yeah, it's like we were still at your mom's house. We either had borrowed your mom's wine or had.
I might have been drinking at college and came. I might not have been legal. Yeah, I was 20. So my parents let me drink. Anybody listening, please don't call the cops on my parents. They're lovely people, and it's legal in Ohio, so fuck you.
You had parental consent.
Yes.
What was your first exposure, actually?
When I was 12 years old, I went to a party at this, like, video game arcade. It was, like, pay for the hour to play, like, Xbox and stuff. It was, like, a weird phenomenon. But, yeah, their late New Year's party, they played Interstellar 5555 and Hot Fuzz. And I remember being about 12 or 13 and catching the last half of Hot Fuzz. And I didn't know what the movie was about, but I remember the scene where the model church goes right through Simon Skinner's, like, chin. And I didn't watch any horror at the time.
It really hurt.
I hadn't seen any horror movies at the time, any violent films. I was into, like, musicals mostly at that age. And that was, like, my introduction to cinema violence right there. And I'm like, I need to find
virginity right there.
I lost my kind of slasher film virginity to that moment right there. But I remember it's like, I've never heard of this obscure film. This is amazing. I have to find this. And then I think 10 years later I saw it on Netflix and I'm like, this is a trilogy. I need to watch every one of these.
Yep.
And
yeah, so the rest is kind of history. And then what about you, Martha? How was your, like, first exposure to these?
World's End.
Yeah. Or just Shaun of the Dead.
Like, it was the World's End. That was my first experience. Like, and I've seen it several times. So, like, the first time it really floored me just because of, like, how rhythmic it was. Like, they pretty much, I noticed it right away how, like, the story that they told you at the beginning mimicked the story throughout the movie. And I really liked that. And then it was a while for me to watch the rest of the trilogy. Like, Shaun of the Dead, I've only seen one, so I'm looking forward to rewatching this again. Hot Fuzz does the same thing, that same kind of rhythmic film that I'm really into. I don't know, I can't describe, it's hard for me to describe.
It's good, well paced, is I think.
Yeah, good pacing, and that's hard to find in an action movie, not much when it's combined with comedy.
Oh, yeah,
and heart, like we've been talking about.
Absolutely. Because I'm trying to think of, like, any other stuff that really stands out for me for Shaun of the Dead. I guess it's, yeah, I mean, maybe we should just, like, shut the fuck up and start watching the movie.
Start watching it. I know we talked a while because this is an introduction to, I guess, our trilogy.
Yeah, it really is, because this is, like, one we watch on the reg. Like, this is movies that we will fall asleep to at this point. So we know this one pretty well.
It tucks us into bed at night because it is comforting.
Yeah.
It is. They're good comfort food. The Cornetto Trilogy is, like, you know how some movies are junk food? The Cornetto Trilogy is a gourmet burger that you get at a nice
It is a gourmet ice cream.
Duh.
Excuse me.
Also, I wanna just brag a little bit here that I'm the only one of us who's ever had Cornetto.
Oh, you bitch! I hate you. I remember that. I actually remember that text that you sent me because it's like, I guess who's got a Cornetto, and I'm like, fuck you.
Can we, like, get them online, like order them on, like, Amazon or whatever?
I need to find out.
If they can, I will so buy some because I've been wanting to try some for a while because, like, I don't really care if it's like a one-time thing because I know it's going to be expensive because the import.
But British farms just have their shit together. Any English listeners, your dairy is amazing. I came back to America and I had cheese and it sucks now.
I worked in an ice cream shop for 5 years. I went to England for a month, study abroad, and oh my god, that ice cream was fucking delicious. It came from a girl who worked in gourmet ice cream shop. Yeah, this is better than what we serve back in America. Just the... I don't know, the smooth creaminess. I don't know. And this was like street ice cream I was having. Like,
I know.
like ice cream and a flake.
I feel like they've just got better dairy and vegetables, and this is supposed to be a movie podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like England,
I
we
watch
love
too many
you.
cooking shows.
We might apply for visas. We'll see.
This is why you guys don't use spices on your food. Your food's actually good. You come to America and you try to make something without seasoning, you die. It tastes like shit.
Yeah. Pretty much.
The quality of
We need
American
spice.
food.
All we have is corn.
Lots of corn.
Don't read Upton Sinclair's The Jungle.
Don't.
You've been warned.
Actually, do read it.
No, yeah, please read
Get
it.
broke, bitches.
That's right.
Well, don't read it and eat American food.
Starve.
Okay, so I think it's time to start the movie. So if you guys back at home, if you're watching, you should have the movie queued up right now. So we are going to be pressing play now. So there's the Universal Pictures logo. So
Will I be sued if I hum it?
oh, you know what's actually interesting about the opening music? They actually found one of the disused tracks from the original George A. Romero Dawn of the Dead. So
Wait, so it wasn't in the original Dawn of the Dead?
I think it might have been. I forget whether it actually was, but the opening music titles it's actually like a little bit from the original Dawn of the Dead. So yeah, George A. Romero loves this movie to death. Like really loves it. He's seen it many times before he passed away. God rest his soul.
Now I wish I had got some of the music for reference because.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing, folks. Like we watch these movies on mute because we're not like give us money. We don't want the studios to be like, give us money. So we're just like kind of watching it on mute. But anyway, there's Shaun, our hero. Everybody. It's always I always love like movies that start as like a portrait shot of the main character, so you just really know exactly who he is and what he's going to be throughout the movie. I love movies that do that. Like the opening shot is just perfect portrait. And of course we're already getting laughs with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
I like little Nick Frost. I like that you sent me that picture about how they cuddled.
Yes! Oh, okay, this is a wonderful little story.
Their friendship is amazing.
So back in the day when they were rooming together, they were super poor. They only had like they had this one little studio apartment and this one tiny bed. And so they were living together and they're like, how are we going to sleep? So they just decided to sleep in the same bed, foot to head, and then that wasn't really working because they were kicking each other in the face too much. They just decided to, sleep back to back, and then afterwards they just said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna cuddle." And that's why anytime you see Simon Pegg and Nick Frost like really close together in public, it's because they fucking slept with each other for the longest time. Like not in a like a gay way or anything. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But
It's
just in a we don't give a fuck if you think we're gay.
Exactly.
Friends.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, I hear it's really, really soothing because guys need love too.
Yeah.
Everybody needs snuggles, and those two have just gotten closer because of it. So,
Probably all the healthier for it.
so what I'm just trying to say out there to you listeners, if male listeners out there, sleep with your guy friends. You will become much closer.
Get in a cuddle puddle, everyone.
Yes.
Save the world, get in a cuddle.
Although, all jokes aside, I would pay like $40 whole to go to a movie theater and see a romantic comedy where they were the leads.
Yes. Yes. I mean, they kind of made fun of that in Paul. Like,
oh yeah, they make jokes about it, but I mean like a real romantic comedy starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I'd watch the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm. I would too.
Oh man.
And the dialogue is very fast paced. It's like.
Oh no, I feel bad for talking over it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like they don't waste any time building it up.
No, they don't. They just jump right in. I mean, again,
And
Edgar Wright's dialogue is super duper tight.
Oh yeah, exactly what you said. Like you start in the middle of things with the portrait shot, with the argument.
And I also love how this scene right here, how it ends on the portrait, and then it goes straight into the music. And I love these shots, the lateral tracking shots. They always really work well in groceries.
It makes you feel like you're like just walking through the day, and since the pacing's the same on each one,
yeah,
it gets that vibe of going through the motions and being a zombie in your own life.
Well, like there's a title drop, and like going back to like if you remember, there was actually another video that Tony Zhu on Every Frame of Painting posted. It was about the lateral tracking shot, and it's kind of talking about how like this kind of shot is like one of the least subjective camera moves in history or in cinema that you can do because it's just you're there and there's nothing fake about it.
Yeah.
And then of course this joke is one of my all-time favorites. How it's just and it's yawning.
That was me on Sunday morning.
I think that's me every Monday morning, and I'm pretty sure every Monday for all of our listeners
That was
out there.
Martha on Sunday morning.
I also love the production design here, like how it's all messy and shit. Like, because after later on in the movie, you see how clean it is. Like, I love the before and after compositions. And then there's shit like this. This is so bizarre. I've never seen anything like that.
The fast cuts.
Yeah, the fast cuts to make all this mundane stuff look make all this mundane stuff look like it's like an action-paced sort of thing. Like
Well, what he's doing is he's lampooning action films.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, and it works. It works pretty good here, but it works even better in Hot Fuzz. Like way better in Hot Fuzz. It's almost to the point where you kind of wonder as if he was practicing that specifically for Hot Fuzz, but actually I don't know. And then again, if you look at Spaced, everything is shot that way.
Oh yeah.
Everything is shot that way in Spaced.
Well, this whole movie was inspired by that one scene in Space where he's high on speed and trying to play.
Yes, that's totally where it came from.
I love these three characters because I'm 25. We're all 25.
Yeah.
These are the three type of people you meet in your mid-20s. You get people who are kind of like Shaun, who are stuck in things but maybe comfortable. You get people who are still regressed, still in that college phase.
Ed.
Yeah, and then you get people who have just realized they're an adult and they better be taking shit real seriously right now, like Peter. So
And not leaving the fucking door open.
don't leave the door open. You'll die. You
I know.
I've taken the garbage out and she's locked the doors so that we don't get robbed.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even know if you're in the apartment. If that's
Oh, I know, but it's 2 seconds. I'm you're already on it. We would never get attacked.
Speaking
by
of 2
zombies.
seconds, is that something you two say every once in a while when you you're gonna go get something 2 seconds?
Oh no.
Because that's what Ed does all the time, and I love
I
that.
say, don't lock the door. I'm coming back.
Makes it real clear. Spells it out.
Mhm.
So there's black. No, black is on the
So has anyone actually had roommates kind of like Ed? Where you?
No, I've definitely had friends like Ed. I've definitely had guys who act like they're 17 even though they're 27.
Well, see, that's actually funny that you say that because I'm actually your sort of Nick Frost in real life, right?
Yeah, but you clean your house.
Of course I do. And well, I do.
Sorry, Kate. His
Well,
girlfriend cleans his house.
I clean it too. We both do.
He has a job.
Although at least
seem to have either of those. So.
At least I don't, fart, give you the warning fart. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hannah.
And
No,
also, neither of us
I'm
have
sorry.
answering machines.
Oh
so
yeah,
there you go.
because it's 2018.
But
I
go
also
ahead.
like how you run into all those people from the beginning scene. Just
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite bits.
doesn't it track back and forth and you see all these same people again?
Yeah, no. That's the thing. All these, there's a lot. There's always these constant repeats of things. This tracking shot is one of my favorite things in there because I love tracking shots. But it also repeats itself when the apocalypse comes down. And of course, the joke is he doesn't notice.
Notice all the slight differences and all this.
Which is probably going to be us when we wake up.
That's what a hangover will do, and that's what makes it funny. But yeah, these tracking shots that I really, really enjoy because they're.
Wait, I hadn't heard that newscast the last time I watched it. I've only seen this twice. I didn't see the newscast until you put the subtitles on.
Oh yeah, they totally have
That it's alien zombies.
Yeah.
It's aliens the whole time. Everyone. Spoiler alert.
But there's a lot of before and after stuff going on. You saw earlier that Ed was.
GM Clop's brains, mutilated remains.
Well, I'm talking about the video game that Ed was playing.
Okay.
The exchange that they do, go one on the left and on the cover and there's one up top. That stuff that stuff is repeated back at the Winchester. So a lot of stuff comes back. Because as you said, the writing is so friggin' tight. It's either a reference for something that's going to happen, a joke, character development, or moves the plot along. There's almost no fat to these.
Even when Edgar Wright does product placement.
Mm-hmm.
is part of the joke.
Yeah,
right?
it totally is.
No, in World's End, they have a car ad that slipped in there, and it's like new, futuristic, fuel efficient, like, and then he drives up in the Beast like his old fucking clunker from like 1995, or using like Octane coffee and Goodfellas pizza.
Yeah,
from Getaway Driver movie and Baby Driver.
Yes, so you can are you listening? Hollywood, you can be clever with your product placement. So
because every product placement, every like when they design signs or props in the background, when they choose a music track,
That ginger looks like Ron Weasley, actual Ron Weasley.
it looks like Ron Weasley, Crabbe and Goyle all got together and had like a terrible, unwanted child.
Oh God, that's an ugly three-way to imagine.
I need to drink more now.
So, what do you want to do with your life? Yeah, that's that. Oh, have you ever had that moment in real life?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, you got red on you. A great joke. But have you ever had that one time in your life where you're like, I want to do things with my life, and you're like, when?
Yeah, I was in the bathroom talking to one of my coworkers about how like people just turn around after like 2 months and how it's bullshit, like how big turnover is at work, and she told me it's like, yeah, you're not a flake like the rest of them. You look like a lifer, and in that moment I wanted to die.
Oh, dude, that hurts.
Yeah.
That really hurts. And oh hey, look, Philip. See the blocking like that when he turns around like that. Just like he has, you could tell that's like a physical thing. It's very unrealistic, but it's made to be creepy and funny.
It works in the horror genre.
Oh, totally, yeah. And of course, yeah, Bill Nye, everyone. That's totally.
His name's Bill Nye.
Yeah, it's Bill Nye, and that's totally Davy Jones, everybody.
Bill Nye, the zombie guy.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
I've heard there's also like a lot of cameos for oh, and even you've got the military tanks.
Yep.
If I heard that when he goes into the shop to buy Cornetto, the radio's on in like Hindu or some Indian language. I don't know all the dialects, but translated, it just directly straight up says zombies are attacking the city.
That's great. Destroy
their brain. This is exactly what's going on, but it's not in English. So
wait, this is one of my favorite bits. Shit popping into frame is inherently funny. I swear to God.
Shit pops into frame.
Is it also? Have you ever had that like one moment where you're just like, like you're totally proven wrong and you're forced to do this embarrassing thing like this?
This is literally every time you invite me to plants. This is why. I get a text that like sounds great. Go back to bed, and I'm like. Shh.
And I also, yeah, nothing to panic for.
Yeah.
And the guy starts running. So they're for my mom.
Super
mom. First one, definitely.
The zombie. Yep.
Yes, there was a second pigeon, and a third, and a fourth, if you must know.
This is. Oh my God! Yeah, this. Oh man, I really also love how this whole movie is actually its own like really legit good zombie movie. Like it has its own story and everything, and like it pokes fun of all the cliches, but it still carries through with them like as if they're really serious, you know?
Oh yeah, there's heart to it. Oh, the bit with his mom, like I think everyone cries.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard because his mom's so sweet and innocent.
And it's hard to get heart in a comedy without tonal dissonance.
Yeah.
I think most comedies have that sad moment, and then 2 seconds later, someone's shitting.
What is her face?
Oh, she's from space.
Yes, I know, but what is her face? Jessica Stevens?
Daisy?
Yes, it's totally Daisy, but I feel awful. I feel awful for...
in Spaced. Oh. I know, because she helped write that, too.
Oh, yeah, that's why I feel really bad for not remembering her name.
You know what I like about this?
What's that?
It's so realistic to how people would act in a zombie apocalypse. Like, the world's falling apart around you, and you're so focused in your personal...
Jessica Hines, that's it.
You'd be so focused in your personal problems that you wouldn't notice.
Yes.
Like, there's an EMT behind them, a police officer, and it's just very much...
Well, you've kind of joked about this. Like, even if the apocalypse was almost imminent, people would just go about their days like they wouldn't care.
There's a whole. Have you seen Seeking a Friend for the End of the World?
That's pretty much the whole premise of it.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that, but
Well, it's different people react in different ways. Some of the people, you know, I think like the first house he goes to just has like this huge, you know, he's at the party, an asteroid's gonna destroy the Earth, and everyone's just doing meth and heroin and stuff because they're gonna die anyway. And it's like, come back to the orgy, don't be so. Where meanwhile, there are other people who are trying to reconnect with their families, other people who are just in denial, like just still going to work day to day. There's a scene where they're in the boardroom, and it's like, well, Stevens, Jeffs, and Jones have killed themselves, so who wants a promotion? And these people, even though they have a week left to live, are showing up to work every day, because what else would you do? Right? So everybody would handle it differently. There'd definitely be people who still got up at 7 a.m. and went to work the day they knew they were going to die.
Oh, God bless Shaun. He's trying. You know, he wants to actually try and get things going, but damn it, he just can't do.
Well, I feel like he's in that phase where he'd do anything except change himself.
I think he deep down he actually kind of does want to change himself, but he's still got no matter what, he's still got one foot in it. And I hate to say it, but his relationship with Ed in this movie is actually kind of a toxic relationship.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, like that's kind of.
And what's even more fucked up is like when at the very end when he keeps him in the shed, that's still kind of there. Because if you imagine like if Ed straight up died, Shaun actually would turn out to be a really nice guy.
Oh, that's terrible.
Isn't that awful? That is awful because I love Ed in this movie. He's really fun. He's an asshole, but he's really endearing.
Yeah.
Like,
but he's also afraid Shaun's afraid to grow up because, you know, it would turn off his more fun friends, you know? And everybody's got that one friend who they're like, yeah, I guess I'll go to a party or do this with you or talk to you about this or do this immature thing that I've really outgrown or, I don't know. Everybody's got that. I don't know.
Yeah. I honestly, I think it's just what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I think he's like the kind of guy there who is sort of there to help him with because I know Shaun's character used to be a DJ because you know not just while they're like scratching records later on, but if you actually look in the background of the poster. That's actually was supposed to be his in character like DJ stage shows. Like he used to go to shows and stuff.
So he's probably just settling down now, just getting his first 9 to 5, which is like the shittiest 9 to 5 you can get is retail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but and then we have the other our other two characters, which God I really need to.
Diane and
David. Yes.
I'm just calling him Dickhead McGee.
Well, they are. I mean, because they. I don't know. I really did just.
Especially the guy who's only going out with her to get to live. Like, fuck this.
Oh my God! Really?
I can't wait for you to die, bitch.
To a wonderful mum. Ooh.
Oh. Yeah, that's because I thought it would be funny because of what you said about me. You know. You don't want to be my mum.
I mean, I like how Liz has a good head on her shoulders. She's like, I don't want to like.
Yeah, I want to take care of you.
Exactly.
And
she makes that very clear because I think some girls in a relationship they will just like take care of a guy.
Oh yeah, I'll do your laundry, do your clothes, do it now. Unless you're gonna work all day and bring home all the money. Yeah.
Exactly. Like that's the only excuse.
I'll do all the housework if you're doing all the out of house work. That's fair. Oh, I love the framing of the
right.
window.
That's really
the
funny.
Window acting as a zoom.
And of course, it starts raining. I really want to. Oh God, I really wonder where they shot the Winchester Tavern.
I feel like that tavern set in the first tavern set from the World's End.
Oh, is it?
I feel like the Starbucks one, right? And the one from Hot Buzz.
Possibly. I don't know. I'd have to. I don't really know too much about that one to help, but
I don't know if they reuse any of the pubs.
Well, either way, I would definitely like to go to the Winchester.
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse or no apocalypse? The Winchester sounds like a really fun plan.
We've got a company in our city who's making, I think Guerrilla Cinema is the name of them. And they're making movie themed bars. Made the Video Archive. Overlook, which is a Shining themed bar, which is amazing. You can actually go get red rum. And then I think Tokyo Kitty is supposed to be Lost in Translation themed, but I haven't gone yet. They should make a English style pub based off these movies, and they can PayPal me my cut for the idea when it opens. It will basically be me just getting my money back for spending every free minute of my day there. So.
Okay.
So, where were we?
Oh, they just did the whole foreshort.
Oh, right.
Bloody Mary, King's Head? No.
Yeah. Oh, is that where they got it from the World's End?
No, I don't remember.
I think that's just a coincidence.
No, it's something, a bite off the bite at the King's Head or something, and
Right.
then back at the bar for shots.
Yeah.
Which they do today. They do their plan.
Now, this is actually a fun little thing, like the how they make up little stories about all the characters that hang around in the Winchester. You ever gone to a bar like that and you just start making up shit about like regulars that you've seen?
That's on my to-do list.
I haven't gone to a bar enough to meet like regulars and have really good guesses, but I've done that at bars. I've done that on road trips quite a bit.
Oh yes, John.
John at the bar is a friend of mine. He
For
gives me my drinks for free.
Or you named him John after that Billy Joel.
Oh man, Billy Joel in this movie wouldn't be half bad because Edgar Wright always consistently has really good soundtracks.
Oh yeah.
And of course, I think I always credit this movie for making one of my favorite Queen songs, the ones that you hear on the radio constantly, but you always smile whenever it goes on. You're my best friend.
Oh yeah.
You're my best friend.
But a lot of those classic rock songs become like something you grow up with so much that they become white noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I still do smile anytime I hear it come on the radio. And of course,
absolutely.
And of course, this wonderful line: "It's not the end of the world."
Yeah, but I think a big knockout competition in pool, and then that comes back in the fight.
Yes,
doesn't it?
I think it does. Yeah. And then there's this whole bit. This is one of my favorite bits with Shaun and Nick, or Shaun and Ed. I love this bit where they're just completely drunk off their ass. And then, of course, there's this really great moment. Clap. They're just so oblivious. I love it. It's really great how ignorance is kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're drunk, and that literally is how I am when I'm drunk. It's like, I don't know shit. It's when you're caught up in your own world, and you're just living your life.
Baby. Hi, ooh. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, and then there's this bit right here where they're obviously going. But yeah, if you look at the posters in the background, you can actually kind of see some of the tour stuff that he does. Those are actually.
Did it say Carnage Boy?
I think so.
I
yeah.
see all the Easter eggs.
Carnage Boy. I think
Cabbage Boy.
Yeah, Cabbage Boy.
On
That's supposed to be an in-character thing, but I also think that's an in-joke.
Shaun Smiley Riley, right there.
Yeah, but I think it's not. It's supposed to be, obviously his character thing. But I think those posters actually belong to Edgar Wright, who or a friend of Edgar Wright's, who actually worked as a DJ in the early 2000s. Career never took off, but he just liked the posters so much that he wound up using it on set for the movie.
So, is there a real Shaun Smiley Riley then?
I think there may be. I know the Cabbage Boy is a real thing. Of course, it really wasn't. It was a very short-lived thing. I mean, like really short-lived. So, but I do know that Edgar Wright, like either Edgar Wright himself or one of his buddies, like he was an actual DJ that did stuff like that.
Oh, fuck.
And I hate to say it, but he's right.
That's true.
I hate this. Yeah, it sucks. But as much as I love Ed's character, this is a really opening viewing because like I always loved Ed's character and all the stuff that he does. But when you really get down to it, it kind of sucks that I have to admit to myself that he really is bad for Shaun.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is kind of up to you as I don't know. Because Peter's got a point. Sometimes you hang out with people because they help you regress, and they also make you feel like an alpha a little bit.
And they make you laugh.
Yeah.
Because Ed's still really funny.
Oh, yeah, Ed's definitely still really funny. If we're talking about Ed's positive traits.
Yeah, whether...
This feels like an Ed roasting thing.
Yeah, and I do like Ed. I really do.
He's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And I love that line where it's...
Well, he's done some stuff right. He's been a bad influence, and he should respect his friend's career and all this. And but Shaun should also grow a spine and stand up because I don't think Ed knows he's doing.
This is one of my favorite little bits that he does. He's writing "Sort Life Out" like, as a reminder. I've actually done that a couple of times when I was just completely like tired and drunk and everything, and just I need to write shit down. Some people don't eat meat.
No, but absolutely the people I know who have friends like Ed will like not tell them, "Hey, I need my space," or "Hey, I need to get to bed." They'll just keep going with the flow. What these two boys need to do is just have a talk together.
Cornetto.
I mean, they're gonna fight zombies together, and then they're gonna sort their life out.
And this is it. This is the after tracking shot. I love this tracking shot. This is one of my.
Takes this took?
I forget. I think because I know Edgar Wright likes to do these crazy tracking shots, and he usually actually I know he did for Baby Driver, like the opening credits tracking shot.
Music.
Yeah, that was actually day one of shooting for them. Like he actually likes to.
Takes to get the Harlem.
I think they did like 7 takes of that. But he likes to do these crazy long or really technically difficult shots as the first thing, so people can say, okay, the worst stuff is over. Now let's like get to the less stuff. But yeah, this is always really.
Guys, there's a lost cat poster on the door, so if any of you guys don't want to sleep at night, I want you all to wonder where that cat is. Leave it in the comments what you thought happened to Lost Cat.
I also love that little slip that he does. Like
and the blood just...
Well, see, the thing is, I've actually gone back and looked. There's no blood on the floor. That's something that they just kind of did. And I still love that little touch because it's still implying that there's a lot more blood than there actually is. Because, like, you obviously don't want to put that stuff down for the actor because that could potentially, actually screw up the take.
Yeah.
You don't want them, like, actually slipping. You want a more controlled thing. But, yeah, this whole before and after thing is just...
One Shakespeare play, they did actually put, like, blood on the stage, and the actors slipped while the play was going on.
Yeah, not good. Yeah. I mean, granted, on film you can always do another take, but tracking shots like these are always very economically expensive and time-consuming to do. So you want to try to get them done. No, I don't have any change. And then, of course, this is one of my favorite things. I really wish more people did this in other movies, where he turns on the TV, just click, and it's how it syncs up perfectly. Panic on the streets of London.
Did you know this movie was my introduction to the Smiths?
Oh, really?
Yes, I looked up this song.
That's funny.
Specifically. And there is the ending bit of the song. I think I told you this. Just keeps saying, hang the DJ, hang the DJ, hang the DJ.
That's awesome.
It's my favorite part of the song, and I don't know if Edgar Wright did that intentionally because it's not in the movie. But
I think that's just a really good coincidence. Now was that part of the movie?
No. It doesn't say the end of the song. It's just the line "Panic in the Streets of London."
Okay.
I looked it up and I discovered the Smiths.
Okay, because that would have been a nice little intro. But I bet Edgar Wright kind of wanted to use it. It just he didn't find a place for it in the movie.
Oh yeah.
But either way, and then we have our first zombie encounter after God knows how many close encounters with a zombie these two have had.
They just
And
think she's
almost,
fun.
and only now do they finally get to it.
Speaking of coincidences, can I run something past you and tell you, and you tell me if you think it's stupid, is the idea that this is based off classic horror movies, and then the character whose name is Ed has the shirt that says "Wood" on it. Like, because I.
Oh, that's actually a really funny connection. I don't think so. I think it's maybe, like, because.
Because I've called him that accidentally, referring to his character, because I don't think we know his last name. I've called him Ed Wood before.
Wow, wow, that's actually a really good point.
Like, wait, Ed Wood's a real dude.
Yeah, he is. Ooh, I didn't notice that. See what I mean? This is why, watching the Cornetto movies, every movie you watch, there's always something new that you find. And you always get these big laughs.
Right there.
And then there's this one moment that's coming up. I still, like, just, it blows my mind how friggin' funny this is. And dead.
Bloody Mary first thing in the morning.
Oh, yeah. God, see what, again, more things. A Bloody Mary. It's totally a Bloody Mary, isn't it?
Wait, you knew this?
No. I mean, it's just one of those little details that kind of, like, go past your head. Like, you don't really notice the first time around.
Oh, yeah, but the second time around, you notice it right away. It's not hard to get the second time around.
I missed it, but this is
I love how they frame his face in
just the way it winds up. Just like, shut up.
Gotta Instagram that shit.
With his Polaroid camera.
Boomer, watch out.
God, I love how slow
Anybody
these things
who's
are.
from 2006, understand me. Left 4 Dead was my introduction to zombies.
Also, can we also talk about how frickin' British this movie is? Like, it just bathes in its Britishness. Like, it's the calls. It's not a busy line. It's engaged.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's this little moment. This is great.
Well,
Yep, they're still there.
Wait, and yeah.
I think one of the greatest things about the movie, like, is the Britishness plays to the comedy so well, because action is just such a traditionally American genre.
Yeah.
At least these sort of shooter actions are very, very American. So to have a British response, to have, instead of people going in guns blazing, having people being like, oh, well, this is inconvenient.
Want to have a sit?
Let's drink and wait this out, like.
Or
Let's watch the telly.
and I also.
Oh my god.
Okay, that shot is great. I really love how they promoted that in the trailers. It's like 2 heroes will rise off of their couch. And, oh my god, this is so wonderful.
I need to watch the trailer to this, because I always complain. I don't think anybody saw The World's End, because The World's End has a trash tier trailer that makes it look like The Hangover, but a bad version of The Hangover.
Oh, it's nothing like it.
It is the saddest trailer representation of all time, so I'm not surprised that
I've seen sadder.
saw it. Nobody saw World's End for a good reason, and that's because the trailer looked like shit. Like, it looked like it was all the drinking jokes and none of the other jokes that weren't just, we're gonna get drunk.
Although, I still, like, try to tell people who haven't seen The World's End, and if any of you listeners are out there, follow my advice. I tell them, don't watch anything, don't look at anything, go in completely blind. All you need to know is it's about 5 friends getting together from high school, for a pub crawl, and everything goes wrong.
But they're like 40 now.
That's all you need to know. I don't, because now I'm going to spoil it. But the whole alien thing, I love how it catches people off guard.
It's not even necessary.
No, because like
it works, but
it's not. But I love going doing throwing or just throwing them into that, and they don't know. So when it's revealed, they're like, "This took a left field turn."
There's the other thing about Britishness is when not everybody has guns in their house, the violence gets more creative.
Yes.
It's almost like a good censored comedy. It's like a good children's comedy.
Oh, and this is probably some of my favorite. That's the second album I ever bought!
Oh, I love it when they go through and
this is
like, can I get rid of this record?
Yes.
No.
What record would you give away?
That was Blue Monday.
That was an original pressing. But what? Let's see what we got here. Purple Rain? No.
Sign of the Times,
No.
definitely not. Batman soundtrack.
Throw it. Dire Straits? Throw it. But I love the priorities here. Stone Rose? No. He's like, I like it. That's Liz's.
I had to rewatch the scene and use it to pick out my new songs I'm gonna listen to.
Oh, and then there's this.
So much music through Edgar Wright.
Yes, and then there's this. The cricket bat. Oh my god, that is the most British thing.
No, but I straight up love action movies that are set outside America because with gun control rights, you just everybody has to find random shit to kill things with, and it's awesome.
You know,
it's like when all you have is darts and like cars maybe, and the one crazy guy in the woods who owns a gun.
The look on Shaun's face.
And Ed don't even give a fuck. Ed's eating his cornetto, no problem.
You got red on you. But you know what's weird about that? You know, that almost rhythmic beating that they just had. I'm surprised that Edgar Wright actually didn't put any music over that, because there is like a distinct rhythm to it. But
I just love how he says Pete.
Infesticon.
But it's played for silence. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like I never really understood that. I guess
it's kind of uncanny to hear like a thump, thump, thump.
I guess
it plays to the horror
yeah,
aspect of the show a little bit.
I guess he was just trying to like use the sound effects as rhythm rather than having the music drive the rhythm. Because I know he does it later on when they start playing Queen.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe he just didn't want to overdo that same thing.
Yeah, that's probably another thing that he just wanted to avoid. Like, so there's a little bit more punch to it when Queen starts playing.
Yeah.
Again, with the engaged, like it's just revels in the Britishness.
Oh yeah.
And of course, here is where we find out about Philip. Poor Philip, he has to go.
Shut the curtain.
More like Phil Rip, am I right?
No.
Like that audio silence you gave me. You're so cute.
Of course.
Like I can hear the Britishness from like their vocabulary.
No, Philip has. After he still. And of course, now we have the one of the more famous things from this movie, the plan. Right. Have you ever had this like play out in your own head? Like you have a list of things to do and you just kind of repeat them over and over? Sorry, Philip. Bum.
I know I've sent this clip to people, like, I think after, like,
I'm a genius. The mug says I'm a genius.
I think when people have asked me, like, what are you doing about the polar vortex, I'd send them, like, oh, we're gonna sit the Winchester and wait for this to blow over.
That's right. You better damn believe it.
I said that to you, like, when all my friends were, like, live watching, like, the 2016 election, trying to figure out what was going on. And I'm like, I'm just ready to sit at the Winchester and wait for this to all blow over.
I think we've been, in that case.
I said that a lot during disaster scenarios.
Yeah.
Like, every time the world's ending a little bit, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the Winchester.
Have a few drinks and wait for all this to blow over.
I like how this mug is, like, different every take.
Of course. It's really wonderful.
My excuse is I dated a British girl. I did go to her house, and her, like, plate, bowl, cabinet, like, a whole shelf of her cabinet was just about 75 different tea mugs. And all of them were special. All of them were her favorite. I like the idea that Shaun has, like, so many different mugs.
And of course, here it's having a cold pint.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's better with a cold pint.
Slice of fried gold. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. It is vital that you stay in your homes. Make no attempt to reach loved ones.
Yeah, who listens to the telly, right?
Fuck the police. Wait, that's the next movie.
Oh, that's a good one. Is it any zombies out there? Oh, this is a really funny little commentary. Like, don't say that. What? That the Z word.
It's
Don't
the
say.
Z word, Tim.
Don't
It's
say
not
it.
Z.
Don't say it. It's ridiculous. And of course, I love how shows like The Walking Dead or even the comic, they don't ever say zombie. Because they are kind of embarrassed to say zombie, which is weird. Oh, there they are.
Well, it's almost. I think it's also more ridiculous when you find, like, shows where they'll use a word that isn't zombie. Like, they'll be like walkers or the unwoken or some bullshit.
Yeah.
I think realistically people would say zombie and then say, the situation that's going on. We're not going to say zombie because it sounds so dumb.
Another nice little callback to Pete.
With mirror and
Well, now it's the added tension of the shower curtain, which is of course
we don't know if he's alive or dead.
well, it's also the Hitchcock thing. Well, we totally know. Anyone knows that. Horror one knows that he's dead already.
Dead. And then
the
other DJ poster says pest. I don't know if that's an infected rat. I'm reading all the posters. This is my fourth time watching this.
And of course, that's got to be really awkward having your naked neighbor trying to eat you as a zombie. Nope. Just nope.
Big nope.
Run. It's like, nope.
I don't think
nope. That's just take it and run. Oop. Wrong. That was me. Ignore that.
We've been eating soup.
Don't you? Oh boy, I know what's running through your head right now.
Dun, dun.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, I'll stop.
Yeah, because think about it, in the zombie apocalypse, a lot of people would be streaking.
Yeah, well, I mean, like 90.
Zombies.
Well, of course, like 90% of the original cases would probably come from, people in their homes in bed or in hospitals.
There's a manga that I've been trying to get you to read called I Am a Hero, which is about like one guy who owns a gun in Japan. Nobody else owns a gun in Japan during a zombie apocalypse. And there's one zombie who gets turned into a zombie while she's sucking dick. And the guy walks out of the room and he's like bleeding to death because that's kind of the moment she turned.
Nice.
It's the worst horror scene
Yikes.
I've ever seen.
Now this is really funny. I love how guilty that they feel. Hello.
Are you a zombie or not?
Please tell me. Come on, let's just go. It doesn't matter.
I'll be alive anyway.
And
Check.
oh, thank God for that. Back to the music.
Can you imagine some people would turn into a zombie in like the worst situation?
Yeah.
What's the worst situation you could think of turning into a zombie during?
Oh God. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat, giving head to someone. Like that's just yeah. I don't know. Maybe like God, I really can't think of anything worse than that. I'm sorry, but when you start out with a zombie giving head and turns right there and then, it's kind of hard to think of something that can beat that. That's really hard. Okay. I guess like when you're about to see your long lost parents or something like that. I don't know. But either way, it's really awful.
What if you were driving a car with other passengers and then there was a whole scene where they had to drive around your body, like just had to push you out of the way and continue steering the car for you?
Well, I mean, they'd probably wouldn't they be able to stop?
Yeah. Well, what if you were on the highway or something?
Mm.
You have to steer to a clear stop. Yeah, I think the head zombie wins. I think Japan's weird and we can't beat it.
No.
And that's just...
Yeah, that's the fact of life.
Yeah.
Where's
our God? Throughout the land, men and women of integrity rise up to confront the unseen enemy.
Why is his stepdad so, like, unnecessarily creepy?
Because Because he's just built up. He just gives, like, no cues, and all you know is that he's bitten. What have you done?
You naughty boy.
Cricket bat. Also, his mom is super sweet.
Oh, I know. I love Barbara.
Like,
So-
I'll make some sandwiches.
Sandwiches and tea. Sandwiches with tea. Love you, pickle. And I guess that's why a lot of people just like totally lose it when she has to finally kick it at the end of the movie.
Oh, man.
She just doesn't want to be a fuss, is all.
Oh, man.
That's another thing that comes back. It's like, oh, I don't want to be a fuss.
Oh,
And
my
that's
God. Barbara's so pure.
right.
And then you are at that age where you're an adult, but you're young enough that your mom still moms you,
Yep.
you know, and takes care of you.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of true for like no matter what age you are.
Oh, yeah. I haven't gotten old enough to be... I know, the first time I saw Shaun of the Dead was with my dad's parents, and he had a bit to drink, and he just regresses when he drinks. His parents were like, this is stupid. You said there were going to be zombies. There aren't any zombies. This is boring. We're turning it off. Nicholas, it's 11:30. Go upstairs. And he's like, no, Mom. Hannah and I are staying up. Meh. Get us beers, Mom.
Oh, we're good. We're good. So,
But yeah, I think even at like, what? I think like 50.
that was
you're with your
uncalled for,
parents.
Sean.
Yeah.
That was uncalled for.
Psychology behind that. Like, yeah, you regress around the people that you associate a certain age with.
Oh, yeah. My dad definitely acts like he's 16, even though he's 56 around his parents. It's amazing. Which gives me an excuse to regress, and we all just act like big babies as they shake our heads.
Oh, and then there's this wonderful bit. Sometimes you just have to be a man, Sean. There's
With
this.
the glint on the beautiful red light.
And of course he pusses out. He totally pusses out.
Shaun wants to do everything right, but he just doesn't do it.
Well, he's a wimp.
Yeah.
He's actually the wimpiest of Simon Pegg's characters in all three of these movies. Because you look at Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead, he is just a pathetic wimp who really needs to grow up, and eventually does. Nicholas Angel is someone who is so good at his job that he is detached from everything else. And Gary King is just an asshole.
Gary King just hasn't achieved anything in his life, so he's clinging to the point in his life where he did achieve something.
No, Philip!
Yeah, where he was cool.
Yeah.
In high school, you can be cool for just having the right image or having a good time.
Yeah, sorry. If you peak in high school, or if you, like, have fond memories of high school, yeah, you probably need to rethink your life.
If you peek in it, you can have fond memories of high school.
Fond memories is good, but if you look at high school and you're like, that was my peak, and you're like, dude, you need to get out more.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the pub.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of the pub and go to the library.
You guys are such butthurt nerds. Did some jock push you into a locker? I'm sorry.
Yes, actually.
I'm so against this whole hating on people who went to parties and stuff. There's two aspects of life. You've got to go out and meet people and drink and have a good time. And sometimes in high school you're too insecure to do that, and that waits until college for you, and that's fine. But I'm so over the people who are like, I don't need... Well, while you guys were out fornicating, I was learning knowledge. While you were out having premarital sex and drinking, I studied the blade. I'm like, there's two sides to life, you know?
Yeah.
You've got to go to the library and the pub. If you just go to the library, you won't have any life experience.
Well, yeah.
Or if you just go to the pub, you won't have any worldly perspective.
Yeah, just change it up.
Yeah. Some of the nicest people I've met are jocks and cheerleaders, and some of the nicest people I've met are nerds.
And I love how this shot also mirrors the last time he was thrown out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Only this time it's interesting is the camera pushes in and the zombies close in as if like the claustrophobia is starting to go. Because the last time the camera pushes out as, because, Liz is walking away and, his whole life is expanding and he's all alone.
Mhm.
But now this time it's played in reverse, and I love these little, before and after sort of things. Um, he actually climbs in through the window.
What was it? There was a great quote, I think, that, like, what Simon Pegg was saying. It's like, all three of us kept going to the pub, like me and Nick Frost and Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
I think it was, like, Nick's girlfriend kept, getting mad that he was spending all the time at the pub with his friends and not reaching out, and having new life experiences and not experiencing life.
Yep.
And my girlfriend, Edgar Wright, felt the same. Like, I think he was always trying to get them to go to, like, networking events and studio events and, like meet other people in film and TV. And they were in a rut
Yeah.
when they made this movie.
So, as we can see now, Shaun's plan is really starting to fall apart because he just doesn't really think about other people. It's not his fault. It's just something like his character lacks. But
His plan was like 3 steps long.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
true.
Very much compensating for their feelings.
No, it's not at all. However, when you really step back and look at his plan, it's really not very smart at all. Because like, it honestly would be a lot better if they just stayed at Liz's place. The only reason why they want to go to the Winchester is because Ed can smoke there. That's the only reason. But this does bring up an interesting question. Do you guys have like a step plan for the zombie apocalypse?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I have a step plan for if my power goes out, because that's more likely to happen. I guess my zombie apocalypse plan is, I'm gonna go from McDonald's to McDonald's using their fryer fuel to, like, fuel my generator and just hang out for, like, a month at each one and then walk a mile to the next one. I have a freezer full of food, which also serves as, like, a quarantine for any zombies that I push in there. Like, and infinite energy. Infinite energy, infinite food. I live at McDonald's now. That's my apocalypse plan.
That's not a bad idea. But you wouldn't take anyone along the way? Like, you wouldn't go out to get anyone? No, that
makes things complicated. You take people along the way, you get all those, like, power struggles, and that's how most people die in zombie movies, arguing with each other.
That's very true. I mean, let's face it, like, these guys, if these guys were, like, moved any faster, they all would be dead. So, I honestly would try to get, like, a few people together. Not a whole lot, but just enough to make us feel safe,
Oh, yeah.
But, like, the group should never get any bigger than double digits. That's my rule. Yeah. Like, 9 is the maximum, but ideally, like, 4 or 5.
Yeah, you don't want a society.
No.
You don't want a society. You don't want enough that you can't solve a problem without... I want any problem to be able to be solved with, fuck it, you guys can have my food. Shut up. And walking away passive-aggressively. If that can't solve a problem, your group's too big.
Yep.
If your rations can't be solved by you giving up a portion today, like...
Yeah.
It's too big.
God, I love what a bad influence Ed is. Just chill out! Come on, it's a shortcut. This is alright.
I'm driving a
Ed just wants to, like, just do all the things that he can't normally do. Which is also probably one of the...
I want to drive. It's the lawless zombie
apocalypse. We were just talking about how, like, Shaun didn't take into consideration other people's feelings, but, like, look at Ed. He's way worse than Shaun than that. He's just like,
fuck it, I want to drive a Jaguar.
I'm going to crash this perfectly good car so I can drive a Jaguar in the middle of an apocalypse.
This is
so... Oh, yeah, no, Ed's an asshole. We've established Ed's an asshole.
And this is so sweet. Like, it's crazy how Philip's character has just been so creepy up here, and then this shit happens. Like, God damn it, movie. Why would you do that?
Because it's got heart, and he's just a stoic older man who wanted to be like a stern but loving influence, and show him how to keep a stiff upper lip, right?
Yeah, and yet, he felt like he didn't quite do it.
Oh, man.
Oh, God, what the hell?
You're not playing Suicide Driver 3 here.
Suicide Driver, I would play that game. Oh, I love the motorcyclist head. I'm sorry, that's a lovely little prop right there.
Right? Come on, chill out, everything's right.
That's you when you're driving. That's how you would drive.
Chill out. Come on, man. It's all right. we'll just do Tokyo Drift. Woo!
Where's he gone?
He's dead.
No.
Oh shit! Get out! Now that's a scary
man.
thing. Like being trapped in a
In
car.
a car?
Oh, and then the child locks.
Oh my god! No,
Oh.
that terrifies me because
What's
my
that?
mom's car stuff has child locks on it.
Yeah.
She never got able to undo. She doesn't know how to undo them. She has to walk around the side.
You know, I just realized I missed this earlier, but when he was talking about the child locks, that feels like
That's a metaphor.
yeah, that totally feels like an extension of his relationship with Shaun. You know,
Oh yeah.
that's how that.
Still thinks like Shaun is a child, or like he's like still has.
Yeah, he thinks of Shaun as a child, which let's face it, he is.
Well, I was just thinking about
That's just
Shaun's
his
life and
parental instinct.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can interpret it as he will.
just Shaun's life in general is that he's still got child locks on, he's still got training wheels on, he still goes to his mom and his girlfriend to help him out. So of course his mom still has child locks on the car.
I love that moment where he
Oh.
just turns off the music.
There's nothing in the man you still loved inside the car.
Click.
We had a physics teacher that was talking about ghosts the
Mhm.
one time. And he was talking about how he didn't believe in ghosts. And then there was supposedly the ghost of like this old preacher man, like strict guy who lived in his house. And he would turn off the radio anytime like he would play like, I think like really explicit rap music was what he was into.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'd leave it on, and like static would go on, the dog would start barking, and then the radio would just shut off whenever he played explicit music. I don't remember if it was rap or rock and roll, but he's like, I kind of believe in that ghost.
Yeah.
Who just hated my music.
Also, this little bit coming up is probably one of the most ingenious stage. I love the casting and I love the staging in this and how it all perfectly works for the comedy. Hey, it's Martin Freeman cameo. He I'm great.
You know that they have the exact same situation.
Yes, I love this. I love the blocking. I love the casting. Because to me, this.
like there's Ginger Ed in the back.
Yes. This actually kind of reminds me of a lot of the jokes that they did on Spaced, because I remember Edgar Wright saying he kind of wanted to do a live action show with the comedy of The Simpsons, or there's a lot of visual jokes that would work so much easier in animation because you could draw the characters to look similar to other characters for gags like this. Like at one point where Tim gets replaced in the comic book shop, and it's by a character who looks just like him. But that is great. Oh, and of course, a staple of the Cornetto Trilogy.
Garden walls, right? Yeah.
Yes, the fence gag. We all love the fence gag. This is never taking a shortcut. I also love how there's you can actually kind of hear the dog in the background.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually sounds like, it almost sounds like a laugh track. Like the dog in the background serves as the movie's laugh track.
When you're talking about filming cartoon elements as if they're realistic, I had to almost just think of Monty Python.
Mm-hmm.
And how, if something is done in a animated form, it seems silly, but if it's done live action, but it's that type of humor, it's so freaking surreal.
Yeah, it is.
And some of the stuff in Spaced is very much kind of like cutaway gags.
And then you have shit like this coming up right here, because this is like one of my favorite little things. Oh wait, no, I guess not, but it's coming up. That's a bit of a Ferris Bueller thing. Does that feel like a Ferris Bueller knockoff? If it was in slow motion, if it was in slow motion, I feel like that would have been like a Ferris Bueller parody or homage or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Go get it. Come on, can't you find a more blunt object?
Oh, it just breaks on me.
Well, yeah. Not the chair. You want to get something else. What are you doing? He's so lazy about it.
Yes! Tetherball pool.
And yeah, really? Really?
You didn't go for the pole.
I like how the women are showing him how to fight.
Oh, I know.
There you go.
Get him, Shaun.
Yes.
The Impaler.
Shaun the Impaler. I like that.
I am
Feel
very
free to step in. That's another thing about these people. They're such idiots, but they don't ever help out at all.
Oh, yeah, and yeah, they shit all over Shaun for being a wimp when they're not any better.
Yeah. Oh, and this is great.
I'm gonna check if it goes.
It doesn't pan
I
up.
love how the camera doesn't move.
No. That
and it pans up.
yeah. See, that is good cam work. It really goes to show you that what you choose to show and what you don't choose to show, it can make so much of the difference and make a visual gag pop so freaking well.
Yeah, because in the visuals themselves, the timing is the joke.
Yeah, because going back to that every frame of painting video, like it's kind of amazing how most comedies nowadays, especially American comedies, just really rely on the dialogue. There's
yeah.
no visual thing. It's just people standing and talking in masters, which is kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
and if there is a visual thing, it's so extreme and it has tonal dissonance.
Yeah, it's like a one-off thing, and you're like, hey, that's really funny. Can we see more of that?
Yeah. Well, it's almost like they interrupt a drama to put a joke in it.
Yeah.
So they have a dramatic dialogue to move the plot along, and then they stop, and then they do the joke, and then they do the plot, and then they do the joke. Where the plot and the joke and the character development kind of all go hand in hand.
Exactly. It's all interwoven completely.
Mm-hmm. Barbara, that's excellent. Me though.
That's how I
to me IRL for me IRL.
Exactly. That's what another thing that I love about this movie is how it kind of pokes fun at how people are how normal people really are zombies in just real life. Like when you have Shaun yawning and it sounds like it's a zombie moan, but it turns out he's just yawning. Or when he's there, you're just so detached from everything and just staring into space or into your phone that you look like zombie. That's great commentary, and it's funny. It's funny without being preachy, and that's wonderful. They're so bad. Come on, guys! Haven't you watched Walking Dead? You're supposed to coat yourself with zombie blood.
When you're terrified and you're tense, it's kind of
Oh.
They're passing by fine enough.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, so apparently, do you know how they actually got all these extras in?
I've heard they paid them like $1 a day, something ridiculous.
Well, you know how they got all those people to get there, though?
How?
It turns out because Spaced was such a huge hit in the UK, they actually just literally looked at the Spaced forums the Spaced fan forum on the internet, and they posted, "Hey, we need extras for this zombie movie. Well, come on down." So all these people are actually huge fans of Spaced.
Oh, yeah. And
actually, speaking of Spaced, if you look closely, there was one guy in the background who's wearing bright yellow. That's actually Tires.
Hey!
From, you see him right there. Like you see Tires in the background. He's zombified, so they brought him in there. So there's like a lot of visual references to Spaced. And by the way, anyone who's listening, if you haven't seen Spaced, please do yourself a favor and go watch it.
It is on Amazon Prime right now.
It's. I also think it's on YouTube too.
Oh, it's on YouTube, but I think
the quality isn't great, but it's
on YouTube was.
But it's still pretty good. But it's still like worth watching. Just go watch Spaced. If you love the Cornetto Trilogy, you'll love Spaced.
If you don't have money, watch it on YouTube.
Yes.
Because it's still worth watching, and it's early 2000s cheap camera. You're not missing much.
Nope.
Video files here.
And also, there's another recurring motif that most people don't really pick up on the Cornetto Trilogy, and you're about to see them. Creepy twins.
Oh, I saw the twins earlier. The
they were right.
Guys,
they're coming.
Frame.
No, they're right there.
There we go.
Yeah, the creepy twins. There's creepy twins in all three of them. Right, we have the creepy twins right here in Shaun of the Dead. We have the creepy twins that work in the butcher shop in.
Oh, the butcher twins. And then, of course, the two-headed dog.
In The World's End. So isn't that
bar snacks?
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like, I think Edgar Wright he must be just like a huge fan of The Shining. That feels like a shout out to the Grady twins from The
think
Shining.
Queen lyrics are in all of them too.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Is Queen in Hot Fuzz?
I don't know. I don't know about Hot Fuzz. I know World's End. I know Two-Headed Dog is in a song.
Yes.
And then this one's got copious amounts of Queen.
Oh, totally. Like, I mean, but
But
I'm running with the
I just, let's just like awkwardly go in. Oh, and this is a really wonderful little piece. Like, I actually love how he threw threw it in the trash, and then he threw the same trash can at them. That's really good blocking. I love how that everything comes back. Everything is connected.
It's just tight. Just lots of editing.
It is tight.
Well written.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it's got good joke efficiency.
Dude, really, like.
I think I watched like a video on like joke efficiency, how many jokes a minute certain shows had. I think they compared like Office to The Office to Friends, and how like some things have laugh gags and they put aside whole scenes to say jokes versus multiple jokes happening visually and whatever. I think almost every line here is a joke or foreshadowing or plot character related or...
Yeah, there's very, very little fat. And that's what I really love about his writing. And you go back and watch any of his movies, dude. Like, there's all of his movies writing are like that. And they're not afraid of the puns either. At all. Like, you know, no, these people don't eat meat. Or I was like, you know, it's not the end of the world. Thud. Shit like that. He doesn't shy away from it, and that's what I really love.
The bitter end or lager end.
Yeah, that's right. But now they're held up in the Winchester, and
You've got a mustache.
You know, I also I really wonder if Edgar Wright specifically shoots in bars and pubs constantly, just so he can get drinks on set. Because. Well, I mean, because granted, I know the movie came because, like, we all know the story of how the Cornetto Trilogy got made. Because, like, like the whole reason the Cornetto Trilogy is called the Cornetto Trilogy, because he wrote in the Cornetto ice cream for a ice cream hangover. Because when Edgar Wright got hammered, like really, really hammered, he would always have Cornetto ice cream in the morning to cure the hangover. So he just wrote that into the script, and that sort of weird motif became like a reference to the Three Colors trilogy for some reason.
I'm gonna try that.
But yeah, it turns out the ice cream was a hangover cure. So these movies were literally because the filmmakers drank too much.
Well, now I'm thinking about the placement of the ice creams in the films. Like, you have Ed with the Cornetto, and obviously maybe that insinuates he was partying all night.
Yeah.
I remember the one in World's End, maybe it's like, the end of the world came, and I think that end of the world is supposed to be like the world's greatest hangover.
Yeah.
The world's greatest wake up.
Yeah.
I don't miss anything, and then the Cornetto flies by. When did they have it in Hot Fuzz? I know they were waiting in the car once, and there was a second time that they had Cornetto.
Well, I've actually, you could say
Nick
that
Angel doesn't drink
it was
much.
no, it was actually after when Nicholas just gave up on the case, when he just said screw it. He's like, "What do you want from the shop, Cornetto?"
Yeah.
And it was like when he totally gave up, and it was when the lady said, "Hey, good luck having those trouble those killers then killers." And that's where,
just the one killer, actually. Wait a minute.
Exactly. And of course I really love it.
I love this one. Thanks, babe. Like I said, I would watch a romantic comedy with them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's almost to the point where you don't want...
Those two as a romantic interest.
Yeah.
It's
not like the actors.
Yeah, it's totally...
But like playing characters who were in a couple.
Wow, can you imagine how much better this movie would be if the relationship was with... Shaun and Ed and not Shaun and Liz.
Yeah.
This would be amazing, wouldn't it? Because who cares?
This movie is the greatest love triangle supernatural thriller ever. So suck it, Twilight. Suck it. This is the best supernatural love triangle movie all the time. YA authors take note.
I also love how Edgar Wright coined this movie as a term as the Zom rom-com.
Zom rom-com. There's a hashtag for you.
It really is. I mean, that's kind of what he wanted to do. Like, he wanted to do a romantic comedy with a bunch of zombies, so it could call it a rom-com.
There's so many good movies where they try to make it about a relationship, but with a guy and a girl, but the guy and his best friend are obviously like the rom-com staple.
Oh yeah, you look at it and you're like, why isn't this about...
Venom is a great romantic comedy about a man and the aliens who lives inside him.
Or Top Gun.
Top Gun, yes.
The most in-the-closet movie of the 80s, like Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
And of course, oh yeah, there's this wonderful little shot coming up. I love this. And... Oop. No, it's not it. How about...
Anything with flashing lights.
Nope. And then this. Just nope. Just nope.
What else can you do? You're just like, yeah, you just noped out there.
Oh, and then there's this wonderful little gag, like they're going through the TV and like it's all like on standby. But watch really closely if you look. It's a really quick flash and it's really hard to miss.
Is
but
there one channel that's on?
Yeah, well, it's the channels that are on, like they're all the major news networks.
Yeah.
But then you go back and it's Discovery and Bravo, MTV, like things that should not be like any sort of news, but
stand by for. What do you remember the whitest kids you know skit where the aliens have kidnapped all the world's smart people?
Yeah.
And MTV is the only news network.
Maybe that's the reference. Who knows? Well, this was circa 2000.
This was way before.
Okay, yeah, because this is 2004.
Yeah. That'd be funny if it came on and it's like whatever. Chav.
Oh shit. It's the Queen. Oh shit.
Oh.
No! I also love how that machine is in all the movies.
Dracula.
It's that thing is actually in the background in all three of the Cornetto trilogies in the pubs. Because as we said before, Edgar Wright really likes to have his movies set place in a pub. Possibly because he likes to drink on set.
But definitely because he likes to drink in life.
That and I also argue he writes characters that do love to drink as well. So yeah, but either way, it's really funny how that thing comes up, and how I really also love how in each of the bars, especially in the World's End, how diverse they all are.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Because if you watch all of them, the pubs are very, very different from one another.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the World's End, because there's like 13 bars.
Oh yeah, you've got like Two-Headed Dog's more like a beer garden, kind of like the place I'd go to drink with my parents. You've got a couple like old-fashioned like English pubs.
Yep.
You've got the Mermaid, which is just a club.
And then, but they're all very distinct, and I love it. And here we go with the Queen. I love how it's syncing in perfect rhythm. This is why "Don't Stop Me Now" is like the ultimate zombie killing song. There's no stopping me.
Also, like action movie move with its leg spin.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I love that the posters say like darts league, and then I think pool knockout tournament on the wall.
Yep.
David, you just.
He's not. This is not.
Stop! I hate you.
It's a good. Well, I mean, it is a good time now.
Having a good time.
Having a good time.
We're watching this on mute. We don't even know that we're synced.
Yeah.
If we're synced up, that's impressive on Edgar Wright's behalf.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's I love this. Why is Queen still on? 2 seconds.
I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now.
The fire. 100 degrees. That's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. No! In the head! In the head! Wrong head! Oh my god! Smack! You know.
Oh yeah, then there's a whole argument at the beginning of whether that has real bullets.
Yeah, and you know.
Killer Queen.
Killer Queen. What? It's
I
doesn't.
can't sing.
Dynamite with a laser beam.
Told you it was loaded. Ow! God.
Oh, that little.
Yeah.
Usually CGI blood splurts are the worst, but when you use them in like.
There's ways
That was
to
a
use it right.
tasteful, like little. And then his tie is around his like that. He shot his.
I think we should all 5 people operate one gun. You would think that there's like a whole bunch of other bullets, 29 shells. Although I'm still kind of surprised that thing actually does fire. It is
Yeah,
because
you've
this
never
is
cleaned it, and it's mostly for display.
well, yeah, all because this is also Britain. This isn't America, where you can have like a real weapon hanging up overhand. Hell, even in America, the weapons that they have hanging up in like a tavern, they are totally non-firing and non-functional.
Not unless you're in someplace like really rural, and I think that's how they explained the guns in Hot Fuzz. They're in a very
Oh yeah,
rural
too,
area,
totally.
so
That's a really good point.
It's acceptable to have people have more weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks like a nice suburban town.
Which is so it's really weird that it would actually fire, but hey, it's funny, so I'm okay with that. And oh yeah, this is the point where we find out that Shaun's mom. Oh, this is so sweet.
Aww. Oh wait, she doesn't know they've broken up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another. I really love how this is their first time meeting.
Aww.
Really.
But the huge like it's called.
Oh my god.
It's so sad.
I'm sad right now.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
That gets me every time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
She doesn't want to make a fuss. Oh shit. How is that holding them back at all?
I think zombies are clumsy and they can't climb very well.
Cook it. There you go.
That's what he said about the car too. Trying to laugh, but I'm
Oh, and then of course there's the
very close.
yeah, this is the shit that came back from the video game that they were doing earlier.
And I love that they put the camera on the end of the gun like you
Yes.
would in a first-person shooter.
Yes, that's always a really good way to do it, and it's a nice way to visually connect it, not just through the dialogue, but through the camera work as well.
Yeah. And it's
Reload! I'm on it.
a little gamer reference, I think, for like the Spaced fans and then that group who was following the Edgar Wright over films.
I really wonder what it is about repeating beats that make them inherently funny. Because you notice like other movies do that. For example, like in Batman Begins, where Lucius Fox gets fired and he's like, "Didn't you get the memo?" And then later in the end of the movie, he takes his job and he's like, "Didn't you get the memo?" Like I don't know what it is that repeating beats and lines are inherently funny. They just kind of are.
Yeah.
And
Especially when they're in two different contexts and yet they work so perfectly in both contexts.
Exactly. And Lord knows Edgar Wright just milks that cow to no end.
Don't give David the gun.
No!
Shoot David! Bad deed!
Shoot David!
Use his body as we hole up. We'll burn him for fuel. Fuck this guy.
No. Use it
as a shield.
I know we were roasting Ed, but David is the worst.
Yeah, Ed is someone I want to hang out with, even though he's an ass.
Shaun
David's just an asshole who's boring.
Shaun at least bought flowers for his mother's funeral.
Oh my
god, yeah, it's her birthday! No!
This is so sad! Oh yeah, actually, you know what would have made this death a lot stronger? If they actually showed a close-up of the Happy Birthday Mom card.
Oh.
That would have hurt.
Would that be too cheesy? Or
Maybe
if they wrote something very specific on the card that did a callback here.
possibly that could have really helped that moment a little bit more. Because you don't think about that when you're watching it. You realize, oh my god, it totally is her birthday. That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like the worst Mexican standoff because there's only one gun.
Oh boy. Also, if the very unlikely event that I do turn into a zombie, yeah, just wait for me. As soon as I'm dead, yes, please blow my head off.
Well, here's the solution: is you set up a zombie cage in case somebody gets bit, and if they're like, "Oh no, I've been bit by a dog," then instead of having an argument and screaming at each other about whether or not to shoot you, we lock you in the quarantine cage and wait for you to turn. And
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine by me. Just like I want to have as much conscious time left as I want. But once I pass out, please blow my head off. Please.
Yeah.
Just do it. I do not want to come back as one of those things.
Oh yeah. Make sure that it's a real zombie bite. Like, actually, like, hear me out if I say I've been bitten by a dog or I've tripped over my own 2 feet, because that's very likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, just shoot me immediately. I don't want to go through the process. Like, when I have a bad blister, it's a body horror experience for me. Like,
don't say that!
You're not using the Z word. It's like it's a slur. Barbara.
And wait. She's gonna run. Oh, where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. It's coming up. Like they're gonna. Come on.
3.
There she is.
Okay, my timing was off.
Oh, but the eye open is so.
Oh, this sucks.
She still is just one zombie.
Yep.
So she's not too much of a. You do it.
Yeah. See, now I really do want to see that happy birthday card. Cause, oh.
Happy birthday, Mom. There would have to be some line that would tie it back to the.
Yeah. But it would have helped, of course.
Oh yeah. Because I think zooming in on the card sentimentally is a bit cheesy.
Yeah, you would
have
been perfectly right.
David, fuck you! Fuck you, David!
Yeah! Punch
Finally!
Feed him to zombies.
And then this oh, you bitch! He actually pulled the trigger. You bitch! Really? Really?
You should go.
Yeah, you should go.
Would patrons please be quiet and orderly leaving the premises is another background sign. I love that.
I actually remember showing this to my mother because she was really reluctant to see this one because she is just not a horror movie fan at all.
Okay.
And she thinks Shaun of the Dead for her is the weakest, not just because it's a horror movie, but these guys make some really dumb decisions, like really stupid. I remember my mother was actually starting to she almost got up and just turned the movie off because of David actually considered going out there, and then of course this happens and you're just like, oh, he got what he deserved.
When Diane said we'll be torn to pieces.
Yes. And that's exactly what happened. Awesome gore effects right here too.
Oh yeah.
I totally, and I think this is the shot George A. Romero's just got the seal of approval for. Mmm. Yum.
Do you think he was turned or was he just eaten?
Oh, he was just eaten.
Eaten alive. He's not turned yet.
No, he's just been eaten alive. It
takes like 2 minutes for them to turn.
Oh, actually, it takes like a few hours because.
Oh yeah, when did his mom get bit?
She got bit.
Broke into the house.
No, she got bit when he found him when he jumped over the fence on the trampoline. Found her on the ground. Yeah, at least that's what I'm implying was when they got bit.
Yeah.
And now they're been invaded. Really, just. Dude, you are wasting so many bullets and so much time.
Throw a Molotov cocktail.
That would just burn. Yeah, just burn down the whole thing. Burn the whole place down and run. Ed's got the right idea.
Whenever you have a Molotov whenever you have a problem and you throw a Molotov cocktail at it, You now no longer have a problem. You have another problem.
That's true. And then, of course, there's this. Fuck a doodle-doo! No, leave him alone!
The fuck-a-doodle-doo is a thing that I say in daily life.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice. There's a lot of things in these movies that I use in real life.
I think I tried to stop swearing and start saying cutesy words instead, but I just combined my swearing with cutesy words, so I have this weird Deborah Morgan dialogue where I'm like, fuckity cupcakes, cunt cakes.
Bye, Pete! Pete's dead.
Is his name Peter because just Peter's hanging out the whole film? Discuss.
That's a good question.
I mean, yeah, it's concealed the entire movie. I mean, the actor could just have underwear on.
Well, I know the actor probably has at least a sock on. At worst.
Well, of
but
course.
Peter is implied to be butt naked, unless he's a very just modest zombie who showers in his
Took his
Speedo.
cloth? Oh my god. Just when you thought this place couldn't get more apocalyptic looking. We're on the shelves. They're on the bar! Fuck! Seriously? Seriously, look before you light shit on fire, man. Especially in a bar.
They're not thinking.
They don't think at all throughout this movie. And again, that's something that my mother pointed out.
That's
Like,
kind of the point. I mean, they're acting very human.
Yeah.
So.
just nothing goes right at all.
I mean, like, they're not like ex-military.
No.
They're not gymnasts
Yeah.
or anything. They're just average Joes.
And
No, they're like less than stupid average Joes.
Yeah.
Because they make some dumbass motherfucker mistakes.
Some of them go beyond dumps, but I think forgetting about the shells for 2 seconds is something.
Oh yeah, no, that's
I
perfect.
could see myself doing.
Yeah.
One of the advantages of World's End and the stupid decisions they make there is they write their characters as canonically of having had like 9 beers at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that's what I wonder. Like towards the end of the movies, like, how are you running right now? You just had 9 pints.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you'd be surprised what alcohol and adrenaline can do. I mean, one of my favorite musicians, he fell like 9 feet. He was doing a stunt on stage, broke half his rib cage.
Oh
and
jeez.
He still like got up, and he was a singer.
Yeah.
He got up on stage, sang the final song, walked off stage, and almost passed out. And he blamed it all. The reason he was able to finish that song was alcohol and adrenaline.
Who's this?
Andy Biersack.
Andy Biersack. Yes. I would have loved to see in World's End though, where like somebody does like 9 pints in the most kick-ass like fighting sequence of all time, like just beating them up and just being perfect and being badass and running away, and then when all the like robots are dead, just stop and puke. Because that's what would happen once the adrenaline wore off. You just vomit your heart out.
Yeah, and then you'd be like, oh my god, what is life? You just have an existential crisis right there in your puke.
I think that's what Gary King does like every week, though.
Sounds like last week for me.
Oh man, this is another really good little like cliche, quote unquote cliche of the zombie genre, where the characters are just trapped and they're trying to figure out how to kill each other because there's no way out.
Yeah, but like as real people who weren't very serious about it and obviously don't want to do it.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's really funny how like it takes the fucking apocalypse for these two to get together again.
You don't want to die single, do you?
Actually, I would like to be shot. Times have changed. He hasn't.
He hasn't. Even when Ed is knocking on death's door, he's still quipping like an asshole, and I love him for it. Oh, sneaky. I guess they both still have their bad habits, you know.
I mean, you're gonna die anyway.
Oh yeah, totally. So fuck it, right? Of course, Deus Ex Machina, gonna get out, and then I love this little exchange on how they're both going.
I just did here.
And you know what? Maybe I think even Ed realizes that he's kind of toxic towards Shaun.
And then maybe at this point, if Ed didn't turn, he would kind of change and
Yeah.
be
And
supportive of it and everything.
then of course I have.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He just wasn't aware of his effect. Like,
And now he realizes. Oh, and then there's this. I'm sorry too. For what? No, Shaun. I'm sorry. You best be. You best be glad that I don't do that shit to you. Because although granted, my farts are not that bad, but my girlfriend's farts are nasty. She does that shit to me all the time.
You're putting that on the internet. I hope she appreciates that.
She better. Because Jesus Christ, her farts can kill yaks.
Oh, man.
Like, standing. It's just because there are moments where I'm just like, oh God, Jesus Christ! I gotta just run out of the room. I love you, guy.
That would have been a great. That would have been a very Shaun Ed exchange.
Yeah, well, I mean, he says it right here, just guy. That's another one I really like using. Just all right, guy.
2 seconds.
And of course, like along with the Deus Ex Machina of the button, just when you think like there's no way out, the fucking military comes out in 3, 2, 1, and it mows them down. Yep.
I thought we should prepare for the zombie apocalypse. Just buy like a army truck, keep supplies in it.
There's actually one on sale not too far around the corner.
You know what? I'm gonna
Aim for the head, you military guys.
No, we gotta play out the blood.
For the more likely future of not a zombie apocalypse by saving my money.
That's
and
yes.
Buying a reliable, small, like Japanese car and driving it around.
Yes.
And saving gas mileage.
Hey! Oh, and she takes out the twins.
That's why I took golf in high school.
Oh, I love it. She's got a golf club instead of a cricket bat.
Also, well, to be fair, though, a golf club is a horrible, horrible blunt instrument.
Oh, yeah.
It bends.
I've played.
Yeah, it's like.
It's horrible. I'll take the cricket bat any day.
Andrew Ryan would be ashamed of you guys.
Why?
You know the BioShock where he's like, do it. Beat his head with a golf club.
If you're gonna use a golf club as a weapon, use the putter. Because that's probably the most stable. Other golf clubs are meant to bend when you swing them.
Yeah.
What if you've got a whole, like a caddy that follows you around the apocalypse, and whenever you bend a golf club, you get a new one?
And then there's these. The zombie TV. And they're just kind of integrated into life. And what was the other thing that I thought was really funny where say on the air, removing the head and destroying the brain. Incredible. And then they thought this was really funny. Zombaid charity. And they're so like the same. They actually use them for the service industry.
That's the guy who used to work with Shaun.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they turn them into games. Like, this is actually, I think, a really funny commentary of what would happen if, zombies just happen to be part of our culture again. Just, it's like, do you go to sleep? Do you go to bed with it?
Of course I do.
And then it mirrors the first shot again with the yawn, which is wonderful. And of course now, like I said, they really like to do these before and after compositions.
Is that a painting of the Jag?
I don't know, but the point is, like, now the apartment's all cleaned up. It's got that woman's touch now.
She's got the art, the throw pillows.
The pink throw pillows, very feminine.
Still kept his posters, though.
Yes, because out of respect. And of course, now they have like their own little schedule. Just very boring, very plain, and just very nice. Nice little flat together. Looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's got his man cave in the back.
Yes.
His Ed shed.
His Ed shed. Pop into the
I
garden.
wonder if that's how Edgar Wright came up with his character's name.
The Ed Shed.
The Ed Shed.
Shed, Ed.
No, see, actually, that would have been a really...
Ed, Shaun, Shed.
The ship name! That's their ship. That's their ship name. Shed. Because they hang out in the shed and play video games.
Shaun and Ed.
That's wonderful. You're my best friend. Yes.
You're my best friend.
And they retain their primal instincts, which is all Ed had a lot of anyway.
Yep.
Didn't really change.
Simon Pegg.
Yep, Simon Pegg writes a lot of these.
I believe it.
Well, he and Edgar Wright write these together, you know. They're both their movies, and you know, Simon Pegg goes, and also Simon Pegg is the one who wrote Paul, which is why, you know, tonally it feels the same, but because it's not directed by Edgar Wright, it doesn't feel like an Edgar Wright movie.
Yeah, well, then it also has a little bit of who voiced the alien, like a lot of Seth Rogen vibes
Yes.
to it too.
Yeah.
That a lot of like atheism and weed kind of stuff that came in with the Seth Rogen tone really had its own kind of, but there was definitely still an Edgar Wright vibe.
I wonder if that's how
with
like,
half of it.
he was able to get like Seth Rogen involved in that film. I wonder if he wrote it.
If he helped, right.
No, he totally did write Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I think, is he... I wonder if he's here. There's the music supervisor.
Nick Angel.
I don't know if he was working it. Yep!
Nick Angel! Yes!
He was named after the music supervisor, which... I don't know the story behind that. I really wish I did. I guess he's just a really cool guy.
I imagine he's just a really cool dude.
I guess so, because, I mean, if, you know, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are obliged to name that character after him, I guess he is cool enough or whatever.
Pigeon Man.
Yes, the Pigeon Man. Actually, speaking of which, one of the shots where you see the zombies walking toward the shop, and you know it's where Shaun is still working, and you see some zombies walking in the background. There's one, if you look really far off in the distance, there's one who's walking and he falls face to the ground. That's actually Edgar Wright. He actually that's his cameo in the movie. So
does he cameo in all of his films?
I don't think he does. I think that's just one case because, you know, with a zombie movie, it's really, really easy to cameo in your stuff. You just zombify yourself and throw yourself in the background. But although this movie was so popular with George A. Romero afterwards that Nick Frost and Simon Pegg actually got to cameo in Land of the Dead. Like they were actually like these chained up things, and Simon Pegg specifically was modeled after one of the zombies from I forget. I think it was Day of the Dead or something like that. So, yeah, he was in like a latex mask and whatnot, but the latex mask was kind of modeled after that original zombie. So Shaun got to play like one of George A. Romero's like signature zombies.
Oh, that's cool.
As a cameo, which was really, really awesome. There's a studio cat.
Chirping around, cute.
Yes. So yeah, that's the end of probably one of our the first of the Cornetto Trilogy. Which, yeah, it's amazing how well this movie still holds up, isn't it? Like all the time.
A lot more second time watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I've seen this movie like a zillion and a half times, and you know I picked up on Bloody Mary finally. Like
what? This is the first time you picked up on Bloody Mary?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I knew that before I watched it. That's been on the internet.
Oh yeah, dude. I totally feel stupid for not noticing that. It's amazing how many wonderful little details you pick up the more times you watch it. Because I think this is I don't know. I'm definitely somewhere in the teens in the amount of times I've watched this. So, yeah.
3 or 4, but I want to hear your perspective at second time going around Shaun of the Dead.
First time I watched it, like, I'm always a little skeptical when it comes to zombie movies, because this was a time when it was way overdone.
Oh, like Walking Dead era, where you're done with it.
Yeah, and...
Left 4 Dead and...
No, Left 4 Dead, it was still cool in Left 4 Dead. I watched this off of Left 4 Dead. That was when it was just starting. Walking Dead was when it was real big.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And also, like, I just don't like horror in general, like, but I like the jokes. It keeps it lighthearted. Except for the part where like Barbara
Barbara.
dies.
Barbara!
R.I.P. Barbara.
Mom, why?
And like
I'm
now
gonna go
that like
hug my mom.
watching it a second time, like I'm not like as on edge. Like look at us, we're like sitting back drinking beer. Like it's the way it's supposed to be drinking. Like I'm not. Yeah, I was able
You
to, like,
went into it expecting a horror with comedy elements and not a comedy with horror elements, so you were...
Yeah, I was more like, I don't want to see this, like, ready to shield my face from it. Now, like, that I'm actually watching it,
Oh, yeah.
from start to finish, it's, oh, yeah, there's the joke. Is that an Easter egg that I didn't catch up on? Or
Now that I've shown you more horror films, I think we watched Train to Busan and Silenced. Do you still, like, cringe when David gets pulled apart, or are you numb to the violence now?
Well, I knew that was going to happen, so I can't say.
Well, if you're numb to the violence now, I mean, does that make you kind of open for, like, you know, standard...
I have to have seen for the first time, like, witness it firsthand as to see what kind of reaction it was. But I knew it was going to happen, so there was no surprise for me.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm just curious if, like, now that you've, like, sort of, you know, been detoxed. I really can't think of a better word for it. But now that you've been exposed, now that you've been like, you know, taking your dip into horror, you willing to like try other horror movies like the actual original Dawn of the Dead and shit like that, or maybe like you know, classic films like
I don't know. It needs like to have some comedy to balance itself out, or
something psychological or something.
Yeah, like Train to Busan, that was very suspenseful.
So you're not into a slasher film, something super violent, but we could probably get her to watch Babadook.
Probably, yeah, probably, or
because that's not a lot of gore. That's a lot of just making you never want to have children ever.
You know what's another really wonderful one? Because you mentioned the Babadook. I love how the Babadook is designed to scare the parents, not the kids.
Oh yeah.
But the other one that I do it, and it's my all-time favorite horror movie, The Exorcist, the original.
Oh yeah.
I want to sit your ass down with that one because to this day that movie freaks me the fuck out. Like it's just.
I have to like remind myself not to think about that movie before I go to bed at night. If I do, like it's like playing the game. Remember the game from high school?
Oh no, I just lost it for the first time in like 5 years. Thanks, bitch.
Yeah, record. Boom.
Oh my god, we're talking about Left 4 Dead. We're talking about the game.
That's what Exorcist is like for me. Like it's like playing the game. Like I can't think about it.
I'm just gonna like you know next time you're staying over at my place, I'm just gonna come to the middle of the night and play the theme song for you.
Where's that painting I made for you? That was the cover of The Exorcist. Do you still have that?
Oh, I might. No, actually, I gave that away to a friend of mine for Christmas.
Oh, right, that was a commish. Okay,
yes.
That was for somebody else.
Yes, that was like years ago. Hannah does painting, by the way.
Yay, I paint. Give me money.
Yeah, support your local artists.
Yeah.
Like us, by paying them.
Yeah, you should.
I'm not local if you're listening online, probably.
Yeah, we're from Cincinnati, so.
Support your small artists by paying them.
Yeah. I'm not gonna paint anything for you. Just like send me money.
Well, I can tell you.
You can consider this part of your art.
I was gonna say just like if you guys want to really support us, you can just hit like and subscribe, all that standard stuff, and just keep on listening because if you guys love watching movies, we'll make them even more fun to watch. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Comment with
bring everything but the beer.
Yes, you bring that yourself. Comment with your theories on how the lost cat totally survived and didn't die in this movie, and actually was the hero of Shaun of the Dead the whole time.
Yeah, it was the cat in the shop, right?
Yeah, the lost cat poster. That cat didn't die, but I want to hear the fan theories on how it lived.
Oh, this is going to be awesome! I cannot wait to read up on this. So yeah,
just like Nick Frost. Just one quick thought. He plays his character so well, you hate him, but then in 2 other movies, he is so lovable.
Yeah.
He's like just awesome job, Nick. We love you, Nick.
We do. We love both of these guys. We love all of the makers and creators of the Shaun of the Dead franchise or the Cornetto and the Space franchise. That whole little pocketed universe. We love it. Yeah. So, and we'll be back next time with Hot Fuzz, right?
Woo!
Yeah.
My favorite.
That's my personal favorite too.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be really good.
Yes.
So.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
And so this is going to be Tim, Martha, and Hannah signing out.
See you, pal.
Boy.
Gay.
CommTrack is hosted by Tim Leifheit, Hannah Sipniewski, and me, Martha Reckers, and was originally created by Tim Leifheit himself. If you have any questions or suggestions for a future show, leave us a comment or reach us at commtrack.podcast@gmail.com. Like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page. This has been an episode of CommTrack, where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. Thank you, and good night.